government, a democracy is a thinking man's government. Now, what does that mean? What does it mean that a democracy is a thinking man's government? Let's start off with this. White man has done a lot of bad things. White men in government, white men in power have done a lot of evil, grimy things. But 90% of what they have done could be nullified by us in our community. 90% of that. Hard to believe, but it's true. 90% of what has happened to the black man in this country can be nullified by us in our own communities. I'm not speaking out of turn. I'm not speaking out of will o' the wisp, out of the wind. No, I'm not. I have proof. The 54th Massachusetts is proof. All the men that fought in all of the wars in this country are proof. The fact that we were able to galvanize people in the civil rights movement is proof. The fact that even more grassroots than that, the fact that I even grew up in a neighborhood that had very little to no crime. And I hardly ever saw a white person, and all the businesses in and around my neighborhood were owned by black people. Okay? So there's proof of that. And we're going to talk about being skeptical and the three pillars of the three pillars of skepticism. But this special report is to let you know that what Trump is a reflection of our laziness. He is a reflection of those things that we have taken for granted in our democracy. Okay? Put this red pen back. In our democracy. Our democracy it's not something that can stand alone, that can stand with us being bystanders. We can't sit back and indicate, as I've said in my other videos, oh, it's them, or it's those people, or, you know what I mean, we can't do nothing. A democracy is something that has to take thinking. Exclamation points here. Okay? It has to take action, too. Okay? It takes people going out, and I know what you're going to say. Man, it's hard enough for me just to go out here to make a living. It's hard enough for me to go out here and, take care of my kids and this kind of thing. And all of those things are hard for me to do, let alone keep an eye on my democracy. But see, that's when you start talking about apathy. That's when you start saying, oh man, there's nothing I can do. And see, that's when a man like Trump can sneak into office and can hold us hostage. You see, in those places where a dictatorship, that might work for them because they're okay with dealing, having somebody tell them what to do every day. You know what I mean? Or having control over everything that they do every day. We here in a democracy ain't with that. I know I'm not. I've been an activist since I was young. Okay? In my classrooms, I was speaking out in my classrooms as a young person, and all the way up into the classrooms and halls of higher learning. I know that democracy is a living, breathing, moving forward entity. It cannot be sustained by allowing somebody else to come in and say, I'll do it. You got comfortable when a brother for the last 8 years, and I know a lot of y'all are wishing now, or you know what I mean, that he would still be back. But no, that 8 years was a vacation. As I said before, we was chilling, relaxing. You were chilling and relaxing, but see, I wasn't. I knew all the policies that he was putting forth. I knew why he brought in his attorney general as a brother to reform the criminal justice system and all these things. And a lot of us a lot of you young people sit back smoking weed and partying, whatever, and next thing you know, here come Trump. Now, when Obama was in office, the people who had a problem with this, okay, were stewing the whole time, waiting, biding their time for this day, for these days, okay? There's nothing that you can say to them that can make them turn on Trump, because he is all of what was stewing inside of them. And because Trump was able to tap into that, and because we were apathetic in our duty to protect our democracy, okay, and to think, now, what do you have? You got social media. You have, you know what I mean? You have conspiracy theorists. All of these kind of things, and all of these things are pumping all this information in your mind. Oh, the election is going to be rigged, and October surprise, and Trump coming out of the hospital. All of these things, these distractions, take away from you thinking. Okay? And so now where are you? You're in a state of confusion. And a person like myself, who has already been even killed, who has not only seen this day coming, but has prepared for it, now you don't want to hear it. Oh, we only got a few subscribers. Why? You see what I'm saying? I know a lot of you are out there, have voted, yes. But see, that's not going to be the end of it. Because once you get in power, that's when you have to lay down policies. That's when you have to lay down social programs that will work for the future, so that the democracy doesn't die, so that the democracy stands strong, so that people who have difference of opinion can come together. They want to talk about camaraderie and coming together and knowing things that we have in common now. Why? Because it has exploded. Boom. Their livelihoods are being threatened. That quiet farm or that quiet house that they have in the city, no, they can't be quiet now. You know what I mean? You got people running around in the streets, and mostly black and brown people blowing shit up and setting shit on fire. You know what I'm saying? And they can't go into church and say, Lord, please help me through this. Nah. Now you got to do the work. These are the things that take place when you don't allow yourself not only to think, but think that somebody else will do the thinking for you. Okay? You can't allow that things to happen. In flames, it's written at the porthole of the universe. You shall reap what you sow. Okay? This is what we have reaped, and this is what we've done, and this is what you sow, so you reap. This is what you reap. You reap a Donald Trump. You reap a William Barr. You reap extremists coming from out of the woodworks and telling you that this is fake, and We not going, and Trump saying to, stand by, stand back, and stand by. You know what I mean? Now you scared to go to the polls. You see what I mean? So from here on, stay connected to your community. Stay informed. You know what I mean? Make sure that everything that you read or everything that you watch on these social media platforms are, you're able to make sure that that's the truth. You know what I mean? That you can verify it. And if you don't, guess what? We'll be right back here again, dealing with the same mess.